And we're back, everybody. Back with the Bodacious Rant with myself, Burn, and my homie over there, Rye. How you doing, Rye?
Oh, it's happy. It's Friday, Friday. You gotta get down on Friday. Party
I
and party and yeah.
oh gosh,
I was thinking
Rebecca
about
Black. That was the thing.
I just remember that thinking like there are a bunch of middle schoolers. How are they able to drive? Like it was the weirdest thing about that video. It was like
There was a lot weird with that video.
just
Let's be
very.
honest.
I mean, no offense to Rebecca Black. I mean, I don't mean to.
And she got her money.
Yeah, she did get her money. So you know what? You know what? Screw that. I will criticize Rebecca Black. I don't give a shit. Anyways, but yes, happy Friday, Burn. It's a joyous day. You know, the Super Bowl is this weekend. My money's on Mahomes, even though I can't stand Kermit the Frog as a quarterback, but it's fine. He is a great athlete. I will say that. I know he beat the Niners last year. I was talking about that with Joe, where he's like, that's the only reason you hate him. Like, no, I don't like his voice. He loves ketchup. And again, yes, he did beat my Niners. He is easily one of the best quarterbacks. Like, I'd rather have the up and comer win than the dude who's already been there like 50,000 times. You know what I mean?
I guess. I mean, but I'm a little biased being a Charger fan and not wanting Mahomes to get another ring, so I'm gonna root for the goat, Tom Brady.
I don't care. I mean, you're
But that's
wrong.
besides the point because we're not here to talk about the no Super Bowl that hasn't happened yet. What
No,
we're here
we're
to
not.
talk about is episode 5 of the WandaVisions.
Yes. My God. Again, like The Mandalorian, this show is just getting better and better. It is pretty crazy. I don't
Every
know
week.
how, but it's like, just wow.
It's like I mean I again I could just can't fathom it. It's like last week's episode I was like this is the best episode of the season, and then now after this week's episode I'm like oh, well this is the best one of the season. Like you said, it's like a lot like the Mandalorian where like every episode it just kept getting better and better and better, and it's like wow like whew, if this is the quality we're gonna keep getting, I'm a happy camper.
Absolutely. Like, I know we were just talking about it before we started. Like, this is a show I never cared for, or I just thought, why are we wasting time with this and like Loki, like Falcon and Winter Soldier? I could totally like I can understand makes sense just because the way Endgame ended and stuff like that. But this show has totally flipped it. I really love this show. Like I'm enjoying every bit of it. And every week we're they're leaving a breadcrumb trail and they're like, okay, here's a little more for you, here's a little more for you, but we're still leaving stuff until later because we got about four more episodes after
Yeah, I
this
think
week.
so.
And I mean, this is basically like the tipping point for the story so far. We'll talk about it in the spoiler section, but oh my God, I was watching and I thought, oh my God, this is intense. This is amazing. Like this is crazy. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna give my rating preemptively, Burn. Unless there's anything you want to ask me before I give my rating.
No. Please let me know.
I'm gonna give it five flippin' rantings. Like I thought last week was my favorite one. Screw that noise. This one's better. Like this is just fantastic all around.
Yeah, these last couple episodes in particular have just been amazing. It's definitely the turning point in the season for where the show was gonna go from now on. It being a play on sitcoms and all that stuff with the first three episodes, but now it's like all right, this is legit. We're getting into some like major storytelling here, and the plot's unraveling, and we're finding out more and more every episode. The mysteries slowly being unraveled. So yeah, I'm there with you. 5 out of 5 rants. It's like if I could give it more ratings, like higher than a 5, I would because it's just the quality speaks for itself, man.
As a great man once said, I wish I had more hands. I give this show four thumbs up. Oh God, rest you, Rick James. Anyways, yeah, no, like I said, this is just I mean, I don't want to spoil. I'll save everything for the spoilers. I just want to say
Yeah.
this episode was great. We're getting more answers. They're definitely messing with the format more and more. Where the sitcom or MCU, and I'm gonna say MCU just because it's a Marvel show, but it feels like a Marvel movie. Like it has just that style that Marvel's been using. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
that's how I'm gonna classify it, either sitcom or MCU.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's a good way to put it. So shall
But
we get into the spoilers then?
shall we to battle?
Man,
Mask
stop.
up. Mask gotta represent.
Oh my
I
god.
like how in Brooklyn Nine-Nine Jake flips his cape over like he's trying to flare it out for everybody, and Rosa doesn't want anything to do with it, but just like a bunch of girls are like, yeah, like way to rock the look. It's like, no, dude.
It's like y'all just a bunch of nerds.
It's easily one of the best episodes of like season, I think 5 was. I don't remember, but
It's one of the later ones.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, spoiler time. So, hop on when you've caught up and let us know what you think. But 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're back. Spoiler
God.
talk. No holds
Um,
barred.
oh man. Where to start? I mean,
I
I
mean,
guess
right at the beginning, man. Like we got to start right at the beginning with it because, I mean, with Mom, Wanda and Vision are just in full mommy daddy mode in the beginning with their two twins, and it's just such a funny thing to see, like these two characters like being parents.
yeah, I actually thought it was interesting because after the last episode, I didn't think it was gonna stick with the sitcom, but then I kind of
Mhm.
thought about the trailers and stuff, how it still kind of went through the decades a little bit, or like the show. So I thought that was interesting to keep it with the sitcom, and
Mhm.
then after we kind of see them with their baby stuff, it's really like how the last one ended with Monica saying it's all Wanda, it's all her. And I know they kind of poke jabs at it when they're trying to put the babies to sleep. Like every mom wants their kids to sleep, especially, I mean, I can't really say I relate to it too much. My ex did have a baby, but I wasn't really around the whole time. But I do get the thing of like the kid needs to go to sleep because
Yeah, try to
when
put
I'd
the
have to watch
babies.
her trying to put her to sleep was just like go to bed, like let's take a nap. But she would want to play and stuff. And these babies were
Mhm.
just crying and stuff. So I like this is the one thing that's kind of like poking fun at it, but it's also addressing it where she's like, okay, I guess there's some shortcuts. Sleep. But the babies don't seem like, why aren't you doing what I want?
Mhm.
And I think as much as this is definitely playing on the fact that yes, she is creating this world willingly. This is all conscious, but the babies, I don't think she took into account how real they would be. Like I think that's kind of hinting that this is almost like, oh shit, like these are real kids. Like this is weird. Like why aren't you doing what? Because I guess it sounds like everything she's wanted to happen has happened,
Well, yeah.
and now it's like with these. I think the babies are a sign that the were she's almost losing control of it a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. She definitely doesn't have as much control over her two kids as she has on everybody else that's in Westview. Like it's made very clear with her, like you said, telling the kids if what every mom wishes they could do, just sleep. Just put your children to
Don't
sleep
mind
with
me.
magic.
Sleep, sleep. And I do like again they kind of went back to the happy-go-lucky family where he has the little the binkies in his ears, well not really
Hmm.
ears but just in his head, so he looked like a Teletubby, which is a little creepy. um but then this is where again it just keeps on the weird factor where Agnes just pops in out of nowhere, here's the babies crying, and Vision is just questioning more like everything, especially since episode 3. Like he's definitely becoming more self-aware of everything going
Oh
on,
yeah.
and he's like, I got just the face that he says, like, oh, I heard them crying. It's like, how? Like,
Hmm.
there's no way you could hear him crying in the house, or outside the house. And when she's like, oh, let me carry him, and he's just again being a typical parent, like, maybe you shouldn't. Just I don't know when you wash your hands or did any of that stuff. Just being cautious.
Yeah, just
And the
like
laughing went
way
on.
overthinking it and being overprotective.
Yeah, but then Agnes, Catherine Hahn just kind of flipped. Is like, okay, do you want me to do it again? Like, what?
Yeah,
I just thought it was
like
so
breaking
weird how they
character.
broke character. Yeah, like it was
Mhm.
almost like an awkward like acting moment in a way. Like,
Yeah, like her asking Wanda, do you want me to take it from the top? Like should I start over? Play the scene back essentially, because you want me to hold the baby. Like you can tell, like it's like Wanda's way again of manipulating the people and manipulating the quote unquote show, where the neighbors come in at the exact moment they need to with something that they need, and that gets mentioned later on too. It's just and Vision's getting more keen to it. So yeah, I thought it was like super interesting that like right in the middle of the scene, it's just oh like but you want me to hold the kids, right? Like, should we just start over? I was like, whoa, this is different.
Yeah, like it's happening more so without her doing a jump cut or trying to reverse everything. Like she's just she but that was the thing too, is like if she's in control of everything, then why is she trying to like I could understand her subverting like Vision, like saying, no, I'm ignoring it. It's like but Agnes broke out of it. She knows what's going on more so than other people do.
Hmm.
And so it's like and even she was kind of thrown off like, what do you mean? Like I don't know. Like, okay, let's just let her try it. But so again, I still have a theory that Agnes is a she's letting this happen, or maybe she taught Wanda everything. We'll talk about that later, but
Yeah, it
um,
seems like there's something later on that, yeah, but we'll be able to talk about that.
we'll talk about that. But
But
again,
the
I just
kids, the kids are like aging up. It's like
yeah, that was a
all this is
crazy thing.
happening.
After Vision's just trying to interrogate her, like, what is going on? Like, start giving me answers, please, because this is weird how she just did that. Like, how do you not notice that? How is there nothing wrong with that? And oh my god, the baby stopped crying. It's like, oh, thank God. It's like, well, wait, where are the babies? It's like,
Hmm.
holy shit, they're already like 7 years old or whatever age they were.
They were like
Like,
4 or 5, I believe.
yeah, so it really this is getting to a point where reality is out of the picture with this. Like, given it kind of always has been since it's Wanda and Vision together,
Yeah.
but more so in front of other people. Like the it's essentially just out of the bag. Like she doesn't care anymore. She's tired of hiding, and it's like, okay, this is getting a little intense. Like, Wanda, slow down. And Vision again, just being the voice of reason. Like, well, I don't think we should. I think we need to keep hiding. If anything, it's kind of a because like how I don't know. I don't want to talk about it too early on, but I think we'll have to save it. I'll save it for the very end. I'm getting ahead of myself. I gotta slow it on down, pump the brakes. But
Okay, well then let's go from here back to the real world with
yeah,
with
that's what I
Monica
liked about
waking
it.
up. Yeah, Monica. It's cool. They're jumping back and forth from the sitcom to the real things that is happening outside of Westview, and how Monica is like coming back from being inside Westview and describing what it felt like to
Mhm.
be inside Westview. How like when she like touched the barrier and got sucked in, it was like there was this oppressive force, and like she was being like you could kind of giving you like a little details on what everybody's like going through, how they're all just being like controlled by something, and how they also kind of sense Wanda's grief. She mentioned it's like it's a weird way of describing like Wanda's powers.
Yeah, that I thought was really interesting because I thought it was going to be more like borderline amnesia or maybe
Mhm.
she I didn't I mean I don't know. I didn't really know what to expect, but that was my guess. I thought, "Oh, she's probably going to talk about like I don't really remember. I just kind of remember bits and pieces, but I know Wanda's behind it." But instead she's like I just felt grief. I felt sadness, rage, like everything she's going through. I felt that
Mhm.
in there. And so that was really interesting to take on that. And then what was crazy is that when the nurse is like, "Oh, let me I have to take your X-ray again." It's like, why? Like I've already just done this, but then the
Mhm.
whole thing is like completely blank, and that was it's again I don't know what that means. That is so weird. That's like you went into this dome and it's almost like you don't exist essentially outside the real world anymore, or I don't know what it means, but that
Yeah,
was
do you
pretty
think
cool.
like it could be, I don't know, maybe an origin story for Monica as a character?
Her mom was I rewatched the last episode before I watched this one today, and I did know I forgot to notice that when her mom is Maria Photon Rambo. Photon was the hero name for like one of the Rambos. I think it is going to be Monica. I think
Hmm.
that's going to be her hero name. Like, and she's basically like Captain Marvel with the power projections and the flight, the super strength. So
Hmm.
maybe this will do that. Kind of like my theory of the House of M last time, where instead of destroying like in mutants or enhance people population, she's gonna create them. So I think this
Maybe,
could be
yeah.
what it means. Like, oh yeah, like your X-ray's blank, but we don't know. Maybe it's pure energy coming from it, kind of like Captain Marvel's like yellow, like rainbow energy. But
Hmm.
uh, I do say I like the briefing scene right after that when she's like, forget it, let's just go. Like I'll be fine.
Yeah, where they want to do more tests, and she's like, "No, we're done. Like, I'm gonna get out and do my job now."
Exactly, like just being a little. just being a typical person, where it's like I don't want to deal with this. Let's just go. Let's move
Yeah,
on.
like you can't find anything, so I'm not gonna stay here and keep letting you poke me with needles.
Exactly. But I do like how Jimmy, how he kind of led the briefing for like the subjects and stuff like that, like
Hmm.
Wanda. I mean, again, he was a little like he was brushing over a lot of important stuff, but he's also like, I just don't want to be negative,
Yeah,
like
he
how
doesn't like want to speak bad about people. Or I forgot what his line was exactly.
yeah, just because how he's like, oh yeah, she was dead, or no, the guy who is leading sword right now, Monica's friend, I can't remember his name, how he's definitely
Hayward, right? It was like Hayward something.
yeah, he's definitely painting the picture that she's a hostile enemy essentially. And it's like, well, Jimmy's like, no, she was an Avenger. Like she's still a hero. We don't know the whole story yet, so I'd rather not
Yeah,
go into the nitty gritty. And and even
but
then,
then
Monica's like, yeah, but this we don't know if this is like a dangerous thing. I think she's just doing it just to do it. Like we don't. I mean, again, she's kind of like, I'd rather not assume it until we know more, even though she
yeah,
was just in it.
yeah. I mean, and I like you said in the briefing thing how everyone's coming at it from different points of view. Where like uh, director Hayward is like coming at it from, hey, this is kind of the facts that when she first came onto the scene, she was a villain, and he was like, yeah, but she became Avenger eventually after he or she earned their trust. And he's like, yeah, but then remember what happened in Lagos? And it's like, oh yeah, that's right, she did do that too. And then how they revealed how she broke into a sword agency and took Vision's body.
Yeah,
I
kind of
thought that
like
was
how Batman
super
broke in
crazy of a
for the
reveal.
kryptonite.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. She just went in there, brute forced everybody, and took her husband back essentially.
Now, I know that kind of for some people that may have looked like harmless footage, like okay, well, some government agency. I think that was Sword basically tearing apart Vision and experimenting with him essentially, or at least
Yeah,
dissecting him.
it's
So
like
it's
why did the Avengers give, I don't know if they gave it to Sword willingly, but Vision died there, on the plains of Wakanda with them after
mhm.
everybody before everybody got snapped. So it's like, how does Sword come into possession of Vision's body to begin with? And again, like you said, what were they doing? Because the director Hayward even mentions that he wrote in his, like, I guess his living will or something, that if he died, he didn't want to be experimented on and used as a weapon. So it's like, what was exactly going on there?
Yeah, or brought back. So they're kind of
Hmm.
that's what the question. They're basically like they're basically speaking from the audience point of view as well. Is like, is he alive? Is he just? I mean, they didn't want to ask it, but I'm like, is he essentially a walking corpse, like just a
Hmm.
puppet? And that's kind of like I'm even starting to question that now. Like, is he a puppet or did she bring him back to life? And then
Yeah, because I
I
mean, when we
don't
saw,
know.
yeah, like when we saw the illusion drop for a second, it's his like decrepit body with that the big gap in his head where the Infinity Stone was pulled out. So how could he be alive after that? It's very curious. What is the truth here?
Exactly, but and then as that scene, I also loved how they acknowledged, like I just kind of like when they're pointing out like the truth that most movies will kind of brush over that, yeah, Wanda almost killed Thanos. Like she had the chance if he didn't throw a blitz, so
Yeah.
this could be real. And I thought was really cool is that when she goes to her clothes that she came out of the dome with, just took Wu's gun and started shooting. I was like, whoa, like what is your problem? And the
Hmm.
bullets are all especially like that was 80% Kevlar. My clothes are still the same, but she's warping reality to fit her scenario. So it's like, holy shit, like that's pretty crazy. Like they're acknowledging like she has it's immense power. Even Darcy, I could tell in her, like Kat Dennings does a great job of like being curious, but also a little worried. Like I think her curiosity is hiding her fear. Like she's dealing with powers we've never seen before. Like this is could be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
Exactly.
with the readings from last episode about the the background radiation, I forgot what it was called, CMB or something like that,
Yeah, like CMR or I don't know, something like that.
but she was saying like this is a crazy amount. Like this is bad. Like we need to figure out what's going on.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was just crazy like how she's like I felt grief and I need to go back in. It's like whoa, like you want to go back to that? You just got out of it. Like, what the hell's the matter with you, lady? Like, she just threw you out of a dome. Why are you gonna risk your life for this? But I admire her that, like, admire her spirit with that. Like, she wants to help Wanda. She's not trying to attack her. She's not trying to capture her. She's just saying, I want to help. Like, what can we do to help you? Like clearly you're hurt. Like let's get you better.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because essentially she's kind of been like in her head.
yeah, and that was just crazy stuff. And then I like how they're kind of questioning like, well, I forgot what it was. Like, what kind of technology will like won't work or something or will work? Like, what if we send something that from that time in there? Like, huh?
Hmm.
And then it cuts to Vision's workplace where they finally have computers now, and it's so old, but for them, like, it's kind of funny how it's like that old technology is like nice and new for them, kind of, even though it really isn't. Um, how it was a message from Sword saying, "Hey, you guys, there's immense amount of radiation. You guys need to be careful." And people are and the whole cast around him is like, oh, like that's weird. What are you gonna say back, Joker? Like, come on, funny
Hmm.
guy.
They think it's like a spam email or something.
Yeah, but then Vision does his little like truth touch, essentially turns it off, goes to what was that guy's name? Norm, I think.
Norm, yeah, Norm.
Yeah. He touches his brain, totally woke him up. That part I was like, oh, again, another instance of just, oh shit, we're kind of back down to reality here in the Wanda world, and or the Hex as Darcy likes to call it. I really like
Yeah,
that. Like,
I like how she gave it a nickname.
yeah, and then I forgot to mention this too, or I kind of forgot about, but how they don't, she's not known as Scarlet Witch in the MCU yet, not yet at least. But like, I was like, she has no funny name, no alias. Nope.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They said she had like no hero or like code name.
But the hex is like a witch's hex, you know, even though it's hexagonal, it's also like that's a
Hmm.
play on words. Like that's also witchcraft stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that was super clever.
I hope they come up with a moniker, like whether it be Wanda doing it or them. I kind of hope I hope it gets spoken out. One of those things, like when you hear the title of a movie in the movie, like I just have a geeky moments when that happens. But um, I like how when he touches Norm, Norm starts immediately freaking out, kind of like how people at the hospital were after the blip. Like they just essentially woke up from a blip. He's like, I need to call my sister. Like my dad's sick. It's like, whoa, what are you like, Norm? Relax. What's going on? It's like she's in my head. I can't like get her out, please. Like, oh shit. Like she's driving these people mad. Like I know, like we saw
Yeah.
Monica, how she empathized with her and felt her. Everybody else is almost borderline being tortured because it
I
is
mean,
so.
yeah, like they've been there for a while now at this point. Like, right? What did they say was maybe like a week or something at that point where things had just like started to go crazy?
I think so. Yeah, something. There's definitely like, if not a week, at least a little bit around that time period. Like
Hmm.
definitely more than a few days. And again, yeah, people are just like feeling like it must be torture for them because they have their own lives, they have stuff going on, but Wanda's just kind of holding them hostage essentially. And I just and then when he tapped him back, like, oh, so what did you do in that? Like,
Hmm.
fantastic acting by everybody. How they can just
Yeah.
like Catherine Hahn and all these other actors, like just to turn on the character, turn it off, like that, and convincingly, not just like, oh, well, that was obvious kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It reminds me very much of Westworld, where
Mm,
a lot of the robotic characters would go from like displaying like an incredible amount of emotion, and then on a dime just cut it all off. So it was
yeah.
really cool to see that in this show, especially with that scene with Norm where he goes from having woken up and being super frantic about everything that's going on, and then just for Vision to put him right back into character. I was like, oh, that was really
Yeah.
well done.
And I kind of feel bad for Vision now because as much as he was happy and stuff at the beginning of the show, the fact that he's like really concerned now about the world around him, like nothing feels
Mhm.
right with him. um the kids just are growing up and stuff like really quick, like abnormally quick. That was
Yeah.
like even he thinks this is so weird, this shouldn't be happening.
Yeah,
um
because like on in a scene that we skipped over, but it's not that much of a big deal, that scene. But it does play into what you're saying, where they want the puppy. Like for some reason they get like
mhm,
a dog, and then they tell them, hey, you won't be able to have a dog until maybe you're like 10 years old, and the kids age themselves up,
mhm.
and that's not being hidden. And Agnes is in the house with the dog, and she's seeing them, and Vision's just kind of like we're not even trying to hide ourselves now. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we should, like you were saying in the beginning, we should stay hidden. And Wanda, like he says, just kind of over it. Like, no, we don't need to hide ourselves anymore. And it's like, you're losing grip on reality, Wanda.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm gonna say why that's kind of exciting. At least why that line kind of got me excited, and especially combination with the end. So let's keep going, shall we?
Yeah, so
Um,
the sword and them actually, get a drone from like the 80s and they're able to send it in through the bubble. And I thought that was okay, their theory worked and stuff, and they finally make contact with Wanda and them outside her front yard. And then the director all of a sudden is like, take the shot, take the
yeah, I
shot.
was like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Like,
what
dude,
what
what
do
are
you
you
mean?
doing?
I'm like,
Yeah, and Monica's like, what are you talking about? This Who armed this thing? It didn't seem like a drone that would be armed. It's like just supposed to be a surveillance drone.
yeah, like how I said last time too, how Shield, even though it's supposed to be a defensive thing, they were very much on the offensive. And Sword again, like it is supposed to be a response and observation, but it's like the Hayward's just trying to be on the offensive with this. So that's when the whole footage started got me thinking like, who is running Sword? Like, is Hydra still a thing, or are they trying to be like Shield also, where it's just like we need to use technology to get ahead of things? And I don't know, but I definitely am starting to look at Hayward a little more like not so much as a friend anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
like you're probably not the right guy for the job because, like you said, like even in the briefing, like he came at it from a super negative like angle, like he was already framing her as the bad guy, and again, like his actions here with the drone, just like okay, you're like really trying to be really preemptive about this, like you're wanting to eliminate a threat before it's even gotten to a certain point. It's like, dude, you need to like slow your roll a little bit.
Yeah, and like I mean he's not completely wrong. Any law
No.
enforcement or military will look at the same way. Like, okay, we gotta look at her history, acknowledge that. And Jimmy was again he's being a little blind by. He's like, well, I'd like to keep positive because she is an Avenger. She's got to be a good guy, right? Like we don't know what's going on, but
Hmm.
he's just like, well, we also have to consider the fact that she was a villain. She was responsible for Civil War. She was responsible for Age of Ultron. Like it's not she's not innocent either.
Yeah.
So
Which is
it's
why she's such an interesting character because she has all these flaws and came from this certain background that a lot of the other main characters in the MCU haven't had that sort of, I guess, complexity to them.
mhm.
So again, I really liked her in the MCU and stuff, but they're really like, fleshing her out in this show, and I'm really really glad they did because again, she's such an interesting character.
Yeah, and the crazy shit was when that drone is going through, you just see her eyes turn red, kind of like how Ultron's was. And I just
Hmm.
kept thinking about that. I'm like, man, there's so many similarities. And also before we finish this up, the whole ad for
Oh yeah, that
Lagos
doesn't
paper
happen until
towels.
after the scene.
Oh, it doesn't happen. Okay, I wasn't sure, but well, okay, then we'll finish that after. But
Yeah,
yeah, we're
at this point, like she takes the drone out and comes out of the bubble,
literally
and
takes it out of the like
yeah,
taking out the trash. It's like,
she drags
whoa.
the drone out to the breach essentially, and it's like throws like leave us alone.
That was like what the fuck? Like you really don't care anymore. You are literally owning up to this. Like you're
Mhm.
fine with it. And again, she's like you're not my friends. Like you trusted me to deliver your baby. Like clearly you there's got to be something in you that trusts us. Like what do you want? She's like you can't give me everything. Like I already have it here. I
Yeah.
created it for myself. I don't need it. Again, like a very much hurt person where it's like they find some sort of like solace or like some sort of like temporary happiness in something, whether it be like it doesn't matter whether their own doing, and then when someone literally tries to help them, maybe do it the right way or like let's talk through it, like let's address the root of it. She's just in denial, like I don't want anything to do with you. Leave me
Hmm.
alone. Almost like a person in depression, like
Yeah,
how it's like
very
as
much
much as
so.
they want to be around people or they want something, they want somebody to help them, they'll do everything they can to reject it because they just don't want it. It's such a
Yeah,
weird complex thing. I mean, I'm probably incorrect, so I'm sorry for those who are experiencing depression. I don't mean to just try and simplify it, but for this is what I feel like is going on with Wanda right now.
yeah, where
Um,
she's gone through a considerable amount of loss, and she's trying to find a way to cope with it, but unfortunately, it's hurting other people. And
mhm.
that's why Monica's like, hey, you trusted me at some point and you wanted my help. That's why, that's why you had me deliver your children for you. And it's like we just want to help you. And she's just like, the only way you guys can help is just leave me alone. leave me to my reality. I won't do anything to you. You won't do anything to me. And this is gonna be like the way it is. And I was just like, this is crazy. I was not expecting this to happen in this season.
Yeah, and then she definitely didn't like the whole guns on her. Like, don't be hostile towards me. You don't want that fight. She has them all point him at Hayward, and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like
Hmm.
she's
She
and
just
but
mind controls everybody instantly.
and we've never seen her do that before. That's been like it's always been like one at a time or like physically controlling people. But for her to do the whole group is like, oh
Hmm.
shit, she's really letting it loose. Um, I will say this too, like the dome thing, that was interesting to see when she goes back in, that it's just like the red is growing everywhere. Like it's almost as if the breach is compromised. Like the
Yeah.
dome is gonna grow. And I know they were kind of saying like this, what if this gets everywhere? Like what if she's able to manipulate all of reality? Like that could cause like a calamity of problems and just I don't know what will happen. But
Hmm.
like I
The
said,
only
now
way,
that
yeah, the only way to clean up that mess is with some Lagos.
yeah, like I said, the ad, I thought I was like, man, they're really just like they're laying it on with her history in these ads, the logos, paper towels to soak up anything. I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
that's rough because it's like
The Lagos. I forgot what the catch slip phrase was. Like when you need to clean up an accident or something. It's like, oh man, it goes to show that what happened with Wanda and Lagos. Like she didn't intend for those Wakandans to get caught in the explosion.
yeah, I was just oh man, it's
And
just so
just the
so messed
imagery
up.
too.
It's
Yeah,
so
the imagery
twisted.
with the red, juice or whatever it was, and them cleaning it up is like there's blood on her hands. So
Yeah.
symbolic.
Oh man, but and then how they Agnes finds the puppy dead because he ate some plants or something. I forgot what it was. It was
Yeah,
something poisonous.
like got into her bushes or something. Yeah.
And it was kind of hilarious how she's telling her children like you guys can't grow up. You can't run away from this. Like that's very bad if you do. Like you need to accept it. It's like maybe you should do that right now too with Vision
Yeah, maybe
and
take your own
everything.
advice.
Yeah, like she's doing that and then talking like thinking more about her brother and all that like but then when Vision comes home he's definitely like upset like you could tell
Hmm.
he's like I want to get to the bottom of this what's going on and I love how the credits are rolling up after the fight she's like I'm going to
Yeah,
bed
like she
it's like
tries to play him off.
yeah and he's just like no we're going to talk about this now like what's going on with Agnes what's going on with the kids like everything and they
Yeah.
both their powers are just going like he floats up like getting ready to fight her and she gets with her hands and she's like you've never talked to me this way before. It's like because I'm in pain. This hurts. I don't know my life before this. Like
Hmm.
for anyone to tell Paul Bettany that he was gonna be done in Hollywood, I'm like, how dare you? He has always been a good actor. Like, what?
Oh
Sure,
yeah.
he's had some bad thing, like bad movies and stuff. What actor doesn't? But this show, again, fantastic acting. Like he portrays that pain so well that it's all from confusion. Like I don't know anything. I hate not knowing. Like it just feels so alien to me.
Yeah,
And
like he realizes he's being a puppet essentially, and it hurts him so much.
yeah, it definitely plays on the fact that he didn't want to. After his living will was basically, once I'm dead, I'm dead. Do not bring me back. Do not fix me. Just let me stay dead. Obviously, I died for a reason, or what killed me, I should have died, kind of thing.
Hmm.
And this is where I'm getting excited. This is the last scene I really want to talk about. When she goes to the door.
Well, no, before that,
Oh,
where
damn
they're
it.
like, where they're talking to each other, and she's saying, do you really think I'm doing this?" I really like that exchange between them where he's like, I can't trust you anymore. Like
Yeah.
I'm calling it as I see it. You're manipulating all this stuff. Everything I'm seeing and controlled is by you. And she's just kind of like, it's not all me. I'm not. You think I created this? Like, so I like that line because it's like
Damn it, you're right. I forgot about that scene. I'm sorry.
it plays into like the whole fact that yeah, she does have some control here, but there's something else that hasn't been revealed to us yet. And we have our speculations of what it could be, but she kind of gives it away in those lines where she's saying, I didn't do this. I'm not responsible for anything. It's kind of like she's just playing along with it because it's something that she wants. It's the fantasy that she's always craved. A normal life with a normal family, and she's never had that. And all of a sudden, it's given to her, and she doesn't want to give it up.
Yeah, like I said, I have my theory, but after this scene that I'm gotten excited for, which I apologize,
Yes,
Burton, I didn't
yes.
mean to
No, no,
skip
no,
over it,
no.
but
Go, no, go for it now.
I get caught up in my excitement. But yeah, no, that is very true. Like it is kind of playing on my other theory that she is controlling it to a certain extent, but there are plenty of things she has no control over. Like the kids
Mhm.
earlier, that's one example of like this, like why aren't you doing what I want you to do? So I think it'll definitely play into the fact later in the show. But when
Yeah.
we get to the door, I did not see this coming at all. When you
Mhm.
just see the silver hair, and I thought, Quicksilver, like Aaron Taylor Johnson? Nope, definitely
How'd
not
that work?
him. And Darcy looks at him like, wait, what? And it's Evan Peters from like American Horror Story, from X-Men Days of Future Past,
Yep. Just quick
Apocalypse.
Fox version of Quicksilver.
Yeah, and actually it is Quicksilver. It's like Pietro with an accent too. He does a great job with that. Like
Hmm.
kind of funny how I flipped it. How she had an accent in the beginning of Marvel. He never had an accent in Fox, but now she kind of left the accent, and now he has an accent in Disney's
Yeah.
Marvel. So it's just
Oh,
kind
that's
of
right though.
funny.
But when she exited the breach and confronted those sword guys, she had her accent again.
Ah, that
Like
is
like
true.
she's not like hiding it anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't think about it when I heard it, but I was
I
just
forgot.
too
I
into the
forgot that.
scene.
Yeah, I forgot that detail. I was like, oh wait, she has her accent back.
I guess I was just
It,
too into the fact that she just stepped out of her breach at the dome and she's
mhm.
knowing everything going on.
Just the
So
pure shock of okay, whoa, what's
exactly.
happening here? But yeah,
Yeah.
dude, the whole Pietro thing. That's
And
I was
and
like,
Darcy's
nah.
like, she recast Pietro, and
Hmm.
and Wanda's face, like she was just completely shocked. That is definitely the proof that she isn't in control of everything. There is somebody else doing it. And now can I say my theories, Burn?
Yes.
This one. Okay. Yeah, like I said, Agnes, I definitely feel like could be Agatha Harkness, like another witch-like character in Marvel who is controlling stuff. Like she may have taught Wanda or like given Wanda something, but letting Wanda have fun with it too. Like, okay, well, I gave you your life. Now what are you gonna do in return? Like, I wonder if it's gonna maybe she's like, well, I gave you everything. You're not controlling everything, right? So what are you gonna give me? I don't know. I don't know what
I'm
her drill.
thinking I'm thinking it's probably the kids. Like maybe she offered Wanda like this life with children, and maybe if she has like a plan for these kids, because it seems like the kids have been a real prominent thing. Remember, even from back in episode 2, where the running theme was for the children.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. Again, that's another big question I want answered, and they're kind of posing that question more so, like just dangling in front of us.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, the whole Evan Peters thing, how she says I don't want to be. She's like how in the beginning of the thing, this is where I saw is like I don't want to be out. I don't want to be hiding anymore. I want to be out and about. She is essentially stating I'm a mutant and I'm tired of hiding in secret. And Evan Peters came from a world of mutants where it's just like we're tired of hiding. We want to be out in the world too and accepted. I
Hmm.
think that's definitely hinting the fact that it's like maybe she will acknowledge mutants or I don't know. But I thought that was kind of like a funny thing how it's like they went hand in hand. Like, oh yeah, Fox's world is now coming into ours. Like, be prepared, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Hmm. So do you think that Evan Peters as a character, do you think he's the different multiverse version of Pietro, or you do you think maybe he's just another person in this town that she's making Pietro, and it's more played as like a meta thing, more for the audience than it is for the actual MCU. That maybe he's not exactly Pietro. It's just they're just saying he is, and because of his history with the Fox character, it makes it very like, oh, that's cool. Or do you think he's actually like they're bringing in the Fox universe?
Oh, in all honesty, I hope that's what it is. That's like like because she's melding reality and Westview, that she's bringing other universes involved. Like she's breaking that line of like this is our world compared to us. Like even Endgame men acknowledge like you take one stone, like how the Sorcerer Supreme was saying, you take one stone, you cause another reality. Like you guys could be breaking it, even though they
Mm-hmm.
returned all the stones. Cap kind of didn't he did put him back, but he still stayed old. So I wonder if that was the event that's like this is setting us on a road of like anything can happen now. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Like
like
the
that
timeline has been manipulated and the multiverse has been altered, so it's like something's gonna give.
exactly. But the most realistic view is that he's probably just because Fox and stuff like now Disney has the rights to Fox for the last year or two. that okay, let's just bring him on just kind of as like a little meta thing, like oh
Like a
let's
fun thing. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I think that's what it could be, and that he could just be somebody else. But if they don't find out who he is by the next episode or like in the next couple, like how they keep identifying people, I don't. I think that maybe he is Quicksilver from the other universe, the
Yeah,
X-Men
definitely.
universe.
I think it'll be answered next episode. We'll know if he's like legit, actual Pietro from Fox MC Marvel movies, or if he's just another character that's being, brought into this, little bubble reality that Wanda or someone else created.
I don't know, but this episode just again fantastic. There's still a couple things I miss. I appreciate you, Bern, from keeping me from just you kept me on my leash essentially, just because there were some things I brushed over. But I'm glad you brought them up. It's just so exciting. This show is just that good where it's like, God, I'm all over the place. I can't focus on one thing because there's so many good things involved, like so many Easter eggs and so many little throwbacks to stuff. Like it's hard not to like this show, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of the Marvel stuff and you're not watching this, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. Because
Hmm.
I will go out on a limb right now and say this is some of the best stuff the MCU is doing.
Yeah, like this. I mean, I know there was Agents of Shield and like we had the Marvel Netflix shows, but I'm like, this is kind of already beating them for me. Like this level of like production quality, the writing, the acting. It's like this is some of the best stuff I've ever seen, and I really I can't say enough. Like this again, setting the bar for the rest of the shows. So hopefully
Hmm.
Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, Hawkeye, the Marvel What If series. I hope they all can keep up with that bar or just keep setting it. Just keep getting better and better with each show.
Definitely. And I do hope that this show in particular does get a lot of love from, the TV critics because this is some good TV. Some really good TV.
I mean, if Mandalorian and The Boys, like some of the best shows that we talked about last year, are basically like kind of in competition with Emmys and stuff, it's like this could be next year's like big Emmy winner. Like we'll have to see
Hmm.
what's gonna happen, just because like again the acting it's so great to see everybody kind of working in all genres of television, like whether it be sitcom, drama, sci-fi, action. They're doing such a great job of kind of them flip-flopping everything that it feels so uniform at the same time.
Hmm. Absolutely. 100%.
Oh man, but I think that'll do it for me, Burn. Now we have to wait another week for
I
WandaVision
know.
episode
Now we gotta
6.
wait the wait. Luckily, these days are going by so fast, though.
I
At least
know
for me.
Valentine's Day is already shit next week. Like, damn. I don't care for it, but it's happening.
But it's there. It's gonna happen.
I was actually talking about my boss the other day. I'm like, it's funny how like this Easter, Halloween, Christmas, they're like some of the best holidays of the year with candy, and then as soon as the day ends, it's like all the best candy's on sale.
Hmm.
Like I think my favorite season for candy would have to be either Easter or Christmas because
For
I like the theme.
candy?
I like the
Oh,
theme stuff. Yeah, like the little
oh, okay.
rabbit chocolates, and then the Christmas always has good stuff. Like I don't know, I always kind of like those themes the best. Halloween's not bad, but it's Halloween. There's all candy, so it doesn't really matter.
I mean, I just like it because they have the huge bags of candy,
That's true.
which I buy just for me. I don't share. I know it says share fun size, but no, not
Trick
for
or treating, you're like the guy in Big Daddy. Just come on, we got a first timer out here. That would be me going to your house, like, come on, bro, like when kids out here, let's go. You flip me off, just you wait right there, don't you move. Now he doesn't like the candy. What else you got? Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Be prepared next time. That was one of the best moments in Big Daddy. A little scary because like you just broke into a dude's house for some candy or something. Like, God damn, dude, relax. It's just
Oh
Halloween.
my god.
Oh man. But anyways, Burn, well, we'll have to talk next week about WandaVision, and then hopefully maybe some more cool movie news will pop out. We'll keep everybody in touch. Keep on the flip side.
Yeah, just flippity flap.
Flip it over, plop plop.
Scooby-Doo pop pop.
All right, my dude. I'll talk to you later. Actually, real quick, everybody, please give us a like, comment, share. Let us know what you guys think. Yeah, keep tuning in because we appreciate the viewership, and you guys are all our Wanda family, all black and white, and
we're all in the Westview bubble.
oh man, we're all losing our minds.
Yes, yes.
All right, my dude. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. TTYL.